Hi everyone. Today I wanted to talk about the three-part thesis statement. This is something that I talk about a lot in the class, and I'm sure you've all noticed it, but I thought that having a little video might help because sometimes it's just easier to learn something when you hear about it rather than when you read it. So what I want to talk about is why it's important to have a three-part thesis statement and how to create one. It's three things is a easy number of things to remember, and it's enough to really support your point. So 3 is kind of the ideal number for supporting points in a fairly short essay, such as the ones that we write in this class. A 1,000-word essay is a short essay. It may not feel like it to you guys, but if you ended up majoring in English, it would feel very short. But you use a three-part thesis statement in your classic 5-paragraph essay, and you will write a lot of these in college. So it's a really good idea to get used to doing this. What you want to do is create your introduction where you discuss your topic, and you want to end that introduction, your very first paragraph, with one sentence three-part thesis statement. You'll state your argument, and then you will highlight the 3 main points of your argument. So for today's argument, I am going to argue that Coca-Cola is better than Pepsi. So I will write 4 or 5 sentences discussing Coca-Cola and Pepsi and why Coca-Cola is better, and then my very final sentence for my introduction will be my thesis statement. So for the sake of this, we're gonna just play around with a thesis statement and say Coca-Cola is better than Pepsi because it tastes less sweet, it's a little fizzier, and because it has such an iconic can. So those are our 3 points, and we stated our argument and highlighted our 3 main points. So we're going to move on to our next paragraph, which is going to be the body 1 paragraph, and that will have our first topic sentence. Now, the first point in our thesis statement was that Coke is better than Pepsi because it tastes less sweet. I think the sugar content's probably the same, but it does taste less sweet. So that's going to be our first argument. So our first topic sentence would be something along the lines of Coca-Cola is better than Pepsi because it tastes less sweet. And then we would defend that statement throughout the paragraph. We would want to use at least one quote that's cited and has a signal phrase or a paraphrase that's cited, and we're going to want to support that. Then we're going to move on to our next paragraph. Each paragraph should be at least 5 sentences long. An academic paragraph really should never be less than 5 sentences long. So our next paragraph is going to highlight the second point. Our second point was that it was fizzier. So we might say something along the lines of, in addition to not tasting as sweet, Coca-Cola is good because it's very fizzy. Or just something even more direct. Coca-Cola has a really nice fizzy bite to it. Something that is going to highlight the second point. And then we're going to discuss it and describe it and support it with our research. Then we'll get to our third topic, which we know is the iconic can. So our third topic sentence, the first sentence of our 4th paragraph, our 3rd body paragraph, will be something along the lines of, finally, one of the reasons that Coca-Cola is so beloved is because it has an iconic can that we can all recognize and we remember from our childhood. Now I'm just coming off with these off the top of my head, so you can really say anything about your 3 main points. The key is that your topic sentence clearly and directly highlights that point. Nobody should be able to look at your topic sentence and your thesis statement and not see a clear and direct connection. It shouldn't simply be implied later in the paragraph. The very first sentence of your paragraph should so clearly relate to your thesis statement that nobody would be able to argue that it couldn't. And then from there, you're going to go into your thoughts about this in third person, of course, and go into it a little more. But this is really how you are going to formulate that. Now, when we get to our conclusion, we're going to restate the thesis statement, but we don't want to say it in exactly the same way. That would be to do that. You want to paraphrase your thesis statement. You want to put it in a new and interesting way. One good way to do this that I really like is to break it up into different sentences. Well, in your first paragraph, in your introduction, your thesis statement has to be 1 sentence. It has to just be a 1-sentence statement that states your argument and highlights your 3 main points. In your conclusion, you can break this up. You can talk about how fizzy Coca-Cola is, about how it tastes really good and not doesn't taste as sickeningly sweet as Pepsi, about how the can design is so beautiful. Just make sure that you state all 3 main points, restate them in your conclusion. So this is how you write a 5-paragraph essay. If you're writing a 7-paragraph essay, then you would also state your counter argument and your rebuttal, but that's not really what we're going into here. You would still do the same thesis statement and the same 3 body paragraphs with coordinating topic sentences. That would be true no matter if you're writing a 5-paragraph or a 7-paragraph essay. You want to state the thesis statement and highlight your thesis, your topic sentences.